And if one of you feels that you can't stand it, can you pull the other one out? All right.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
If you ever do want a break from court, we'll be able to say, look, tomorrow's not going to be particularly important for you necessarily.
Yeah.
Because sometimes there's legal argument which can go on for hours, I can assure you.
Yeah, good
and
idea.
if you do want a break, then we can hopefully predict as to when those days are going to crop up.
Yeah, very good idea. Next, most importantly, are there any questions you've got for me? Now I've said that, immediately you can't think of anything.
No, we had flint brushes on our outfit.
Yeah.
But Peter's...
Yes.
Yeah. I'll sort of cross that when it comes,
Yeah,
I
I think we
think.
decided to sort of take it each day as it comes.
As it comes.
Yeah.
So important, as I say, you don't feel left out. We're here to look after you. Okay, okay, lovely. And please, call me Annie. Okay, jolly good.
Shall I wait for you now?
Yeah, and then we'll go down together. All right, okay.
Although, like, I've got 5 sons still at home and all their friends come round, but it's just so quiet and it just feels empty. There's no life in the house no more. I mean, the night they killed Steve, they killed our whole family. The whole family died that night.
The CPS decision to employ their own barristers may threaten the livelihood of Dickie.
All right, great.
Citadel's head of chambers, Andrew Fisher, and the head of advocacy, Pat Thomas, QC. But they say it's not just about money, it's about quality of justice.
The only real public interest in the criminal justice system is that serious criminals are properly and fairly convicted and then dealt with, as most of the public would prefer, harshly thereafter. But unless you've got the most competent and able people to do that job, then it won't happen, or there'll be appeals and they'll get out on appeal and so on.
At the moment, people trust a jury's verdict. The moment that comes into the system, a gross disparity between the experience and skills of defence and prosecution barristers, you're going to get the situation that you have in many other countries, where people look at the outcome and say, oh, well, the reason that this person was acquitted was not because he was not guilty, but because he had a more expensive advocate than the prosecutor.
At the Old Bailey, the police also have questions about the prosecution of the murder case.
Can you sort of give us a view as to how you intend to cross-examine him, specifically in terms of the use of the CCTV? How much detail are we going to actually go into?
Absolutely. As far as Manzanese is concerned, we've actually got him kicking on the CCTV. But now's our opportunity to ask him, what exactly do you think you're doing here that you say you need to do in self-defence? You find if you're at the independent bar and you haven't worked so closely with police officers that they sort of tend to more let you get on with your job. I know it's born from anxiety, but it makes me anxious too.
The question is for me, do you intend using the same format or procedure with all of the defence actually going through using the schedule not in its entirety, because we don't want to bore the jury.
No, exactly.
But there are pertinent points within the schedule that Nathan's prepared that we do want to go through with each defendant.
Absolutely. It's a learning curve. But of course it also depends on personalities. I could have been more abrupt and just told the officer earlier on that the examination of witnesses in court was my business, but I don't want to run it in such a dictatorial style. I want to try and be as cooperative as possible, but it has got in the way a bit, especially today.
One of the problems is the people who are moving across from the bar to the CPS. And of course, and there's going to be a great variety of those, and there are going to be people, very competent advocates, who will move across for lifestyle reasons. Because no stress, they don't want to work every night and every weekend, and a wholly different sort of approach and nature to the job, and the security of income.
And it does seem to me that the cushion of employment is going to provide a very different kind of approach to the challenges of advocacy from those provided by the stimulus of independence, and frankly not knowing where your next brief is coming from unless you have demonstrated by the way you did the last one that you're worthy of it.
The CPS has even begun to offer some pupilages, but Kokoli believes she's received a more rounded training at the independent bar.
You've posted before, haven't you?
Hi, Steve.
No, I'll tell you what. Right, Cody, tomorrow, West London Meds, a sentence. There's your brief. Okay?
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
I think the beauty of being at the independent bar means that, you know, you can do both defence and prosecution, which gives you a real understanding of what it's like to be on each side. And I think it would make you a better prosecutor or a better defence barrister to know, A, what arguments to anticipate, and really also what is expected of you as a prosecutor or a defender.
But Anna, who's finding it tough to get a pupillage, is keeping an open mind.
I think that working for the CPS is definitely an option, especially as their reputation for pupillages and training contracts is so much better now than it was before. But I want to be self-employed.
With competition for pupillages intense, Anna needs to find a way of enhancing her credentials. In the robbery trial, the teenager accused of driving the getaway car, Skylar Ellis, has been giving evidence.
I've been going through her version of events which we're hearing about for the first time and trying to pick it apart.
He slaughtered her and he's completely trashed her and makes my decision not to call my client the right and wise one.
She said that she was not guilty and she cried a lot. I do not feel at all guilty about making her cry.
Well, he did say something very cheesy. Dry your eyes, Skylar.
Yeah. Did I? You can make a song out of that. There's a song there.
Dry your eyes, Skylar.
You know what will happen now? She'll be acquitted. Yeah. She'll be acquitted. You know that? Yeah.
Well, yeah. The other defenders are saying, "Thank God, I didn't get bombed."
In order to improve their chances of securing tenancy, many young barristers take on unpaid cases. Today, Kokoli's working for the Free Representation Unit, which works with the barristers' professional body, the Bar Council.
Okay. Now, before we start with the conference, I just want to talk to you about my role as your Free Representation Unit rep.
The unit helps people who can't afford a barrister. Kokoli's case involves an office worker who says she's been unfairly dismissed by her employer, the Metropolitan Police.
She says that she assured you that she would help you out, and whenever she talked to you about helping you out, assisting you with all of the filing and the fixed penalty notices, that you'd shrug your shoulders or that you'd be aggressive, or, you know, giving her the impression that you didn't want any help.
Like I said, it's just the way I am sometimes. I can't help the way I...
Yeah, okay. Do you want to have a break for a bit? Okay. Yeah. Don't worry, don't worry, don't worry. Don't worry.